Hello, welcome to Talking Rubbish Recycle Content, where we recycle the most useful bits of the weekly podcast. Join us as we discuss the process of recycling our waste. Are certain items rubbish or not? And we get to answer weekly listener questions. I'm James Piper, author of The Rubbish Book, and I'm joined by Robbie Staniforth, my far from rubbish friend. Today, our rubbish or not is from Discord, from Emily. Thank you very much, Emily. And she was asking about water filters. And she was specifically asking about Brita filters, but I've had to, I've broadened it out just to narrow it back in because I'm mostly going to talk about Brita filters here.
Other filters are available.
A single filter can save the equivalent of nearly 1,000 plastic bottles. I must admit, we had like a life straw, so it was like a bottle with a filter. The straw was the filter, so you sort of like suck the water and it came through the straw. We use that a lot while traveling, and we did use that in every country.
Yeah, sure. And the only one that I've ever used is just the lump of charcoal that you put into a glass jar of water in the fridge. And at the end of it, what do? Probably burn it or something, wouldn't I? Start a fire with it.
Well, this is the section to decide, Robbie. What do we do with water filters, rubbish or not?
They've got to be rubbish, haven't they? We're talking about these plastic-cased ones that go in one of those jugs in the fridge. I just can't see how they're recycling those. I'm going to say rubbish.
You're half right. I think in general, water filters do have no route to recycling as a default, as in standard route to recycling. They cannot be collected at curbside, and I don't think there's anywhere for them at the tip or dump. So, yes, I think in the main, we don't have a route for them to be recycled. However, and it is a however, there are brand-focused routes. Okay. And as I say, most weeks, I hate brand-focused routes to recycling. So Bic with pens, Baby Bells with cheese wax, etc., etc. I just do not like brands who say, oh, well, we'll set up recycling for our product, but no one else's, because either you're serious about recycling your product category and therefore you should accept all brands, or it's a marketing activity, in which case, don't pretend it's sustainability. And so we've loosely touched on Brita filters there. They actually have a really good section of their website, and I will briefly apologise to Brita for saying about the brand thing, because actually they started their recycling programme in 1992.
Whoa, early
which is
days.
So early. I think they deserve credit for that. That is crazy.
I mean, they only deserve credit, though, if more than, say, 70 or 80% of them are being returned, which I imagine is not the case.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. Although I actually don't know. They didn't have any data on their website for returns, but it will not be that high. So they have a map on their website. I'll put the link in the link tree. And when I put Bristol into that, I got Robert Dias, Sainsbury's, The Range, Tesco and Waitrose that I could take Brita filters back to. So it was actually a pretty good selection. I mean, for people not in the UK, is Robert Dias going to mean anything?
Probably not.
Hardware shop. Yeah, hardware shop. The Range. They sell everything, don't they, The Range?
They do have a good range, yeah.
So the water filter cartridges are separated in Brita's own facility. I think they separate them. So they take the plastic casing, they shred that. That's then sent off for cleaning and separating, and they grind that into granules. So normal plastic recycling, you're just melting and shredding into granules. There's activated carbon, which is basically the coal you're describing. It's just carbon, and it has the word activated just means it's got lots of little holes in it, lots of pores.
Oh, okay. To help it release the...
They just give it a massive surface area. So it's sort of like a sponge, and it sponges everything up.
A carbon sponge. Very nice.
Exactly. And that's for mercury and chlorine. They return that to the suppliers who reuse it for various filter processes. So they will reuse that activated carbon, for example, in wastewater treatment. And then the final bit of a filter is ion exchanger, which captures copper, zinc and cadmium. And they regenerate those ion exchangers and they add them to new filter cartridges. Ooh. So they're reusing those. They just get regenerated. And, it's pretty impressive. They say nearly 100% of a Brita filter can be recycled if it's returned. So I definitely think if I use them, which I don't, but if I did use them, I would be taking them back to those various stores that I could take them back to. If you use one of their competitors, so an Aqua Optima water filter, that specific brand has a TerraCycle scheme So you could use that. Slightly less, very less widespread. So the map of Bristol took me to one council facility or one school. So a bit harder to use than the supermarkets that you can use with Brita.
So what we're saying then is if you want the convenience of these Brita filters or other filters, then you're probably going to have to put up with the downside, which is the slight inconvenience of having to go take them back to the store when you're buying new ones. It's not that much of an inconvenience, though, is it? At the end of the day, you are still going to the store to buy new ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think there's enough in that Brita filter that can be reused. So the activated carbon and the ion exchanger, that it is worth doing. This is not just a lump of plastic that's going to get recycled. They're actually reusing this stuff. So it's definitely worth that extra supermarket, or not even extra supermarket trip. It's definitely worth taking it to the supermarket when you go. Thank you so much for listening to Talking Rubbish Recycled Content. Remember to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, leave us a review and follow us on social media where we are at Rubbish Podcast. These clips come from the weekly show, which you can find by just searching for Talking Rubbish. Special thanks to our sponsor, EcoSurety, and all of you for taking the time to support us in our mission to help everyone to recycle better. There is nothing left for me to say other than see you next bin day. Bye.
Bye.